Paramedics with Orangeburg County EMS had just been trained on TRAUMAGEL a week before Casey's accident.
It's a plant-based gel that stops severe bleeding within seconds. Volunteer firefighter Casey Boland, severely injured in an accident that severed an artery in his hand. Just so happened crews were being trained that very same day with TRAUMAGEL.
Something they're calling a game changer in saving lives in just a matter of seconds.
It cuts down on the time to control bleeding.
You get it in places where you can't get others, it's almost instant.
On August 27th, Casey became the first person in South Carolina for the gel to be used on.
I was outside building a wooden frame for a swing for my granddaughter. The miter saw that I was using jumped up. I severed 4 tendons, 3 broken bones. They said I had missing bone, the width for the saw, majorly hemorrhaging. Rushed into the ambulance, and Jeff from Orangeburg County EMS, he come on there and said, I got this thing called TRAUMAGEL.
Knowing a tourniquet had been placed, restoring blood flow to that injured hand while still maintaining bleeding control became the priority. He was sweating very profusely, most of which was being caused by the tourniquet that was in place. After TRAUMAGEL was placed and the tourniquet was removed, all that subsided. You could see a visible change in Casey's demeanor.
Because of that, increased his odds of being able to have function of his hand.
We founded Cressalon on the mission of saving lives. I think it's important to remember that every time that a syringe of TRAUMAGEL is used, it's used by EMTs and paramedics and firefighters and first responders that are actually the ones out there saving lives.
I just felt very honored to have TRAUMAGEL. It's changed my outlook on how to control bleeding before possibly going to a tourniquet. The patient had less complaints of pain with the TRAUMAGEL versus the tourniquet.
It's very versatile. Everybody's anatomy is different. Being able to mold the TRAUMAGEL itself, you can get it in very tricky places on the anatomy of the body. Bigger, more aggressive wounds could be controlled with TRAUMAGEL. It takes less of TRAUMAGEL versus other hemostatic agents. It's perfect. It's perfect.
One of the things that we say about it is it's very low tech but high impact, and that's just because of how it's packaged and how it's deployed. It's super simple.
To the makers of TRAUMAGEL, I truly believe you have created a product that will not only save lives, but like in my case, it will also give patients like myself the ability to continue my career with immense energy, to fight fires alongside my stepson, Andrew, and fellow brothers, to get back doing things I enjoy with my family like playing pool, fishing and shrimping, and be able to hold and rock my granddaughter friendly once again. So thank you, TRAUMAGEL.
I've been a paramedic for about the better part of the last 15 years, and this is one of the coolest experiences that I've ever got to be a part of, knowing that we did something that's not commonly done in the pre-hospital setting, and then the impact that it ended up having. Having this tool, TRAUMAGEL, at our disposal, it's great. We're going to be able to deploy it so fast and be able to get a handle on that bleeding quicker than we had before. We know that whenever you place a tourniquet, there's only a certain amount of time that a tourniquet should really be on, and allows us to be able to free up hands to move on to other important things that's going on with the patient to be able to address.
It goes a long way. The TRAUMAGEL goes a long way.
I'd like to bring Allison and Jessup and Felicia up here just to give you a small memento, because at Cressalon we have a program called the Heroes Program, where when a first responder is treated by another first responder, we give out these challenge coins to each of the 3 of you. I just want to say thank you for everything that you do and for saving a life.
Saved my life, and it saved me from losing my hand. And thank God for everybody that was placed in my life that day that came to my aid and gave me assistance.
It worked very well. I saw great outcomes from it, and the patient was very tolerable of it.
We're able to deploy TRAUMAGEL instead of traditional wound packing, which creates an exposure risk for the providers doing it, because if there's any type of foreign body that has been inside of the wound, or if there's a bone that's fragmented, then the provider's at risk of cutting their finger and being exposed. By adding TRAUMAGEL, we've been able to utilize it in place of traditional wound packing.
You don't have to use the painful tourniquet to control the bleed. You could just apply the TRAUMAGEL, and you never restrict that blood flow. You never cut that blood flow off to that extremity.
As far as my colleagues that have used it, they've used it several times now, and every one of them say that TRAUMAGEL is the reason they were able to control bleeding.
The patients, the other responders, the families, they've all had very good feedback. Very thankful it was used that day and was available for us that day.